Welcome back to 242 Math. I am your host Raphael Thompson, and today we'll be looking at grade 2, the Christmas term topics, and this is for teachers and parents. So get your pen and pencil and paper ready, and let's see how we do with our kids during this Christmas term, term 1. As you begin lessons, parents or teachers, you can establish some daily routines. And I have some of them here listed for you. You can if you're lining students up, you can let them use ordinal numbers. Or if you are letting them do something in order, you say, let this person go first, second, or third, and what have you. If they are sitting, you can count from 1 to whatever. And then you can also add and subtract single digits, so you can skip count with them. Count in 2s, 3s, 5s, or 10s. All of those options are available. Positional words review. These words you would have to go over with them at the beginning: top, middle, bottom, above, below, over, under, up, down, inside, outside, and have them do 2 activities to deal with them. Students will identify items in different locations, and so they will say where it's at. If it's on the top of something, if it's under something, it's inside, and then they will place items in different locations. So you say place it on top of, place it under, what have you. And an example here of a shelf with top, middle, and bottom that they can use. So begin with one item, let them place it on one shelf, place it on the middle or on the top or on the bottom shelf. Or you can have an item on each shelf and then let them pick. Say pick the item from the middle shelf, and then ensure that they're able to know which one is top, middle, or bottom, and the rest of the locations as well. Okay, second lessons. Now these lessons are numbered from 1 to whatever for the Christmas term. So this is lesson 2. Read and write numbers from 0 to 20. Use number line, a line that has equally spaced points named by numbers. Identify numbers on a number line drawn in the class on the ground. Stand on a given number on the number line. So if they can't do that, then have them draw a number line on the desk or on the paper and make sure they put the numbers in on it. And then they can draw their number line and circle their age or different numbers from 1 to 20. Okay, so examples here for number lines. A, write the numbers on the number line from 0 to 20. So give them a blank one and let them write the numbers on it. And then circle numbers on the number line. They can begin with their age, number of students in the group. Write the missing numbers on the number line. Here you present number lines and leave out some numbers intentionally and see if the child or the student can fill the numbers in. Lesson 3. Before or after. In front of or at the back of, less than or more than. Use number line again. Numbers to the right are greater than numbers to the left. Let students realize that fact. Position some objects. So ask, use something that they can play with at first. Which object is at the front of the car? Which object is the back of the car? So you want them to recognize front and back. Use numbers also, and then you can use your number line for that. So ensure students realize that as you go to the right on the number line, the numbers get bigger, and as you go to the left, the numbers get smaller. That's a basic thing you need them to realize, and they should get that immediately. Okay, so give them numbers and say which one is 2 numbers, let them compare which one is bigger, which one is smaller. Okay, and then they should be able to handle questions like that given they have a number line in front of them. Lesson 4, you're going on to flat shapes. Present students with shapes: circle, triangle, rectangle, square. And the circle, they would say it's flat and round. The triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. The rectangle has 4 sides and 4 corners, but 2 sides are longer and opposite sides are the same length. Square, a type of rectangle with 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles. Pick up a shape, count the sides, count the corners, count the angles. Sort shapes based on shape and number of sides, corners, angles, cut out, and let them do pasting exercise. So here you have the shapes that they would be concerned with, and they don't have to go beyond these shapes here. Okay, now the main thing is number of sides. So impress upon them when you hold it up that they can count the sides. As they count, deal with the numbers that they're dealing with. So the numbers from 1 to 5 they should know already. And the circle, no sides, the square 4, the triangle 3, rectangle 4. Let them distinguish between the rectangle and the square. Lesson 5, you're dealing with patterns, and you can have action, pictorial, or repeated, or grouping up to 999. Students will follow and create action patterns so they can clap, jump, dance, clap, jump, dance, in that order. Students will repeat and create pictorial patterns, repeating pictures, and do it one to one. Do it simple first. Students will repeat and create number patterns, 2, 4, 6, 8. What comes next? So patterns, I said, yeah, one to one at first. So if you do hop, clap, jump, what comes next? You do the circles, which they should know already. So different colors, let them find the next circle. Do the shapes, let them find the next shape. The 1, 2, 3, 4, what number comes next? So do it very simple at first so that they can get an idea of patterns, and then they can figure out what comes next. Don't make it too complicated at first. Lesson 6, they're doing addition and subtraction facts to 20. 10 plus 10 is 20. Addition facts, the addition of two single-digit addends producing sums to 18. Addend is a number to be added to another. You can say that term so they can know what it is. And the sum is the answer. Say that term so they know what it is. When 0 is added to a number, the answer is that number. So give them an example, a problem there that shows that. And then adding 1 is the same as counting by 1. Okay, so make sure they go through those for that lesson. Lesson 7, addition and subtraction facts to 20. And here you're presenting, always present a word problem as much as possible so that they have a problem to work out. 4 girls and 6 boys, how many students in the class? And they want to use mental maths to solve. Use double strategy, 4 plus 6, think 5 plus 5. Okay, and another strategy, doubles plus 1, 4 plus 5, think 4 plus 4 plus 1. So those two strategies ensure that students have practice in those. Lesson 8, addition and subtraction facts to 20 still. There are 4 girls and 6 boys, how many students in the class? And we're using doubles plus 2 strategy here. So 4 plus 6 is 4 plus 4 plus 2. And initially let them use counters or fingers to help them, and then use flashcards to reinforce what you're doing. Okay, another strategy, making 10, 7 plus 5, 7 plus 3 plus 2. That one is very important, so make sure they can understand that one about making 10. Lesson 9, read and write number sequences to 100 forward and backward. A number sequence is the order in which numbers are said or placed when counting, forward or ascending order, and backward or descending. They need to know ascending and descending. Those two terms they need to distinguish between. Don't teach them together, so try and teach it separate. Give them a word problem, then write identify sets of numbers arranged in ascending or descending order. So ensure they get ascending first before they move on to descending, and use a 100 counting chart so they can get the ascending and descending, the order and numbers correct. So they must have this chart in front of them when you present them with numbers. Initially present a word problem and then move on to just the numbers, but make sure they're using a 100 counting chart so they can order numbers, to compare numbers and to order numbers. Initially they must have the number chart, the number line, or 100 counting chart in front of them to do this. Lesson 10, still the ascending and descending order to 100. Use a 100 chart at first. Word problem, how will you arrange these numbers in ascending order? Remember, don't mix them up at first. You do it separate so that they can understand what ascending is, and then do descending. Then you can do them together after they understand what they are. Okay, so arrange a series of numbers in designated order to demonstrate sequence, and let them identify what it is, or you let them arrange it in a certain order, the numbers, and arrange them in a certain order. Lesson 11, addition and subtraction facts to 20. Ray 6 and white and 7 green. How many marbles does he have in all? Building on a known double. So here 6 plus 6 is 12. So 6 plus 7 must be 12 plus 1. And 12 plus 1 is 13. So they're using a strategy here, and it's called building on a known double. So let them practice on this. After they're presented with the word problem, give them more practice in it. Use flashcards to reinforce, and make sure they can come up with their own problems and solve. Lesson 12, read and write number sequences to 200 forward and backward. A number sequence is the order in which numbers are said or placed when counting, forward or ascending order, and backward or descending order. Which number is between 159 and 161. So again, let them use a 100 counting chart at first, or number line, in order to find the answers to these before they work on these without the chart or the number line. And they should be able to arrange numbers in ascending or descending order based on a number line, or based on and you can set up a 200 counting chart. You know about the 100 counting chart, but just add on to it. Get a 200 counting chart if you're dealing with numbers up to 200. If you're dealing with numbers up to 300, make a 300 counting chart. It's up to you. You can make these charts and then distribute them to students so they can use at the beginning of the lesson, so they can be familiar with the numbers right in front of them, and then be able to compare and order. Lesson 13, ascending and descending order to 200. Word problem, how will you arrange these numbers in ascending or descending order? And you present them with numbers. Call and write numbers to 200 using a 200 counting chart first and then by memorization. Arrange a series of numbers in designated order to demonstrate sequence. Identify sets of numbers arranged in ascending or descending order. So you want them to be able to do two things, to be able to identify if it's ascending or descending, and then you want them to be able to put numbers in ascending or descending order. Mental mathematics addition, lesson 14. Doubles, take away 1. The word problem came out some pets. She has 4 dogs and 5 cats. How many pets? So it's 4 plus 5, which is 5 plus 5, take away 1, and that gives you 9. So this strategy is doubles, take away 1. Practice it with them, then use flashcards so they get more experience in it, and then let them get more practice in doing this particular strategy, and it has subtraction in it. Lesson 15, read and write number sequences to 300. Now you're moving up, and again you give them a 300 chart in order for them to help to solve problems with first, which numbers between 256 and 258. Let them use a counting chart and find that number, or give them a specific number line with the numbers arranged on it so they can use it to get an answer to the questions that they're given at first. Give them missing numbers and let them use the number chart or number line to solve. And here, a 300 counting chart. You can make these charts up yourself, guys, as a parent or a teacher, but ensure that the child has it at the beginning so that when they're working with these numbers, see the numbers are going up higher and higher. You dealt with up to 100, now up to 200, now you're up to 300. So you want to ensure that they are capable of dealing with these numbers by having a number chart in front of them at the beginning so they can compare numbers and then they can order numbers properly. Lesson 16, you're dealing with ascending and descending order to 300, locate missing numbers on a number line. So here, you're specifically focusing on the number line and you're giving them certain numbers, and you have a number missing on the number line that they have to put in. Make sure it's easy at first, 1 to 1. So if the numbers go up by 1, then you can go up by, you do skip counting and miss out some numbers and let them find the number. But ensure that they begin with going up by 1 first before you move on to skip counting. And lesson 17 is skip counting. So again, you can give them more practice than this using the number line that you just mentioned, or using the counting charts, the number charts. So you have a word problem, and then the students will be able to count in 2s, 5s, 10s, and 50s. And notice it goes up to 50s here. So they should be able to do that. So give them practice in it. So at the beginning, let them use the number charts or number lines in order to do this, and then they would get to it without being able to use the charts to it out of their head. Lesson 18, doubles, take away 2. So again, you begin with a word problem and then pull out your skills from it. So 4 plus 6 is 6 plus 6, take away 2 now. And so 6 plus 4 is 10, because 6 plus 6, 12 take away 2 is 10. So you can use flashcards to go over and make sure students are able to do these strategies and are able to solve problems of their own. Lesson 19, addition to subtraction. Example 7, take away 3. 3 plus a number is 7. So addition and subtraction, they're the inverse operations. So you want them to realize this from first. They don't need to know inverse operations. Just let them know that you can think of 7 take away 3 as 3 plus a number is 7. And then they'll be able to use, you have a word problem there that they would solve, and then use their knowledge of addition facts to find the answers to subtraction equations. So you say 10 take away 6 and 15 take away 9, and they come up with addition equations in order to work those. 20, lesson 20, ascending and descending order. Now you're up to 400, guys. Again, I'd give them a 400 chart and let them use it as much as possible. And you want them to compare numbers, and then you want them to order numbers again, ascending and descending. Okay, so assign numbers to students, have them arrange themselves in ascending, descending order. Look at arrangement of students and say if it's ascending or descending, and picture cards and different strategies for them. Lesson 21, position, 1st to 20th using an ordered set of objects. So you're dealing with ordinal numbers, and I told you from day 1, let them begin using ordinal numbers every lesson as much as possible. The date would have an ordinal number, so make sure they use it. And then if they're doing any sort of competition, make sure they are familiar with ordinal numbers, and then you can use the number line to assist with that as well. Lesson 22, here you're dealing with mental mathematics and addition, count forward, and the commutative rule. They don't need to know what commutative is, they just need to know what to do with numbers that are commutative. Word problem, where's 3 white and 5 blue marbles? How many marbles does we have altogether? So they need to know that 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 3. Make sure they get that from day one. Use the count forward method, use the number line, start at 3 and count on to 5. Count on 5 to get 8. 23, lesson 23, strategies to find sums. Review strategies to find sums. They already dealt with them, and the strategies were doubles, doubles plus 1, doubles plus 2, making 10, and building on a known double. They don't need to know the names and how to they don't need to know the names of these. They just need to know how to work them. So ensure that they're able to go over those strategies to deal with the numbers. Lesson 24, 2-digit numbers, tens and ones. Now you're dealing with place value, and this lesson is important. It's the beginning of place value. Now they don't need to know place value yet. What you need to do is give them numbers and tell them you want to pick out the groups of tens and then ones. They must pick out the group of tens first. So impress that upon the students that whenever you give them a group of stuff and you want them to arrange them in a certain order, pick out the tens, then deal with the ones. Okay, lesson 25, mental strategy, subtraction, count back strategy. You have a word problem. The count back strategy is subtracting 1. You count back by 1. So that's fairly simple. So you have 9 marbles and he lost 1. So that's 9. Take away 1. So you count back from 9, 1, and you get 8. So that they should be able to do. And they can use counters at first, use their fingers, and use the number line in order to find an answer to problems like this at the beginning before they can do them in their head. 26, lesson 26, mental mathematics again, subtracting 0, subtracting the same number. Okay, so when you subtract the same number from that number, the answer is always 0. So give them some practice on that. 4 take away 4 has to be 0. Use counters, fingers, and number lines. So they should create their own word problems and solve as best as they could on their own after they have had practice with you demonstrating the strategy here. Okay, so ensure they can come up with their own problems as well. Lesson 27, locations with relationships near to and far away in a coordinate system such as maps. Coordinate system and arrange an organized method used to locate positions or places on a map. And I would advise you to, if you have a classroom and you're able to set up the classroom in a coordinate system and say who is near to or who is far away from such and such a student. If not, set up pictures on a coordinate grid and then use the pictures and see which picture is near to or far away. And here I have a coordinate grid set up for you, and you can do different locations. You can say if it's above, below, in front of, or behind. Okay, so if I say what items are below the flag, what item is above the flag, okay, what item is in front of the butterfly, what item is behind the butterfly. So you can practice them using a grid that you can set up. And I love to use Bahamian stuff. Lesson 28, 3-digit numbers, hundreds, tens, and ones now, guys. They already dealt with tens and ones. Now it's a bit harder you're still dealing with place value. So let them know now that give them the place value chart, give them the place value model so they can deal with in order to work. Give them groups of stuff and let them pick out hundreds first before they pick out the tens, and then last would be the ones. So let them go in that order when they're picking out the grouping, doing the groupings for you. Lesson 29, mental mathematics, counting back strategy, word problem. The count back strategy for subtracting 2, students can count back by 2. So already know it by 1, so let them do it by, if he has 9 marbles and he lost 3 marbles, how many marbles does he have now? So it's 9, take away 3, so they can count back by 3 for that. The first one was where he lost 2, they count back by 2. So counting back by 2 or 3, that's the strategies you want them to get during this lesson. So begin with the word problems and then let them practice the strategies. Use counters and fingers or number line at first. Lesson 30, place value, identify place value of each digit in 3-digit number, hundreds, tens, and ones. So there you have a number of students in grade 1. I'm trying to come up with numbers that they can relate to instead of numbers out of the blue. And then let them say how many hundreds, how many tens, and how many ones. And once they do that, then let them move on to getting numbers from other places and then trying to set them up in terms of how many hundreds, how many tens, and how many ones. 31 lesson, you're dealing with odd and even numbers. An even number represents an amount of objects that can be grouped into pairs with none left over. So that would give you your even numbers. The rest of the numbers would be odd. So an odd number, you would have one left over. When you group them in pairs, one would be left over for odd. But teach them separate, so do your even first, whereas 8 marbles is number 8, an even number. So let them divide 8 into the groups of 2s and see if there are any left over. None left over, so 8 is even. Let them do other numbers. And lesson 32, they're on to odd numbers now, and do the same thing with them. Give them, came out $9 is number 9, an odd number. Let them give them 9 counters, let them group them in pairs, in groups of 2s, and see if one is left over. If one is left over, then the number has to be odd. So let them understand that from day one, that they're actually dividing by 2, grouping in pairs. Lesson 33, mental mathematics, think addition strategies to find the differences. There are 15 students in class, of each students are boys, how many students are girls? So you show the relationship between addition and subtraction facts. So it's 15 take away 8. So again, you're thinking 8 plus, but you're using higher numbers now, you're using bigger numbers now, so the students can relate to that strategy. They already started with the strategy before. They can count on from 8 to get an answer. Lesson 34, measure and compare temperature. A temperature is used to measure the amount of heat. Objects with a higher temperature are hotter, objects with a lower temperature are cooler. Use Fahrenheit thermometer. Okay, at first, let them use Fahrenheit. We measured degrees in Fahrenheit in the Bahamas. So you want them to look at the temperature inside, outside the classroom. They may not be able to handle the thermometer. The teacher or you, the parent, would do that for them. Let them look at it and say which one was higher, inside, outside, particular time of day, and deal with hot items to demonstrate hot items. Make sure you, the teacher or the parent, do that for them. Lesson 35, fact families. A fact family is a group of related facts using the same numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 take away 2 is 3, and 5 take away 3 is 2. You can begin with a word problem with 3 numbers, and then let them draw a triangle and put the 3 on the vertices, put the numbers, and then inside let them put the fact family. Start with the addition ones first, 2 addition ones, and it could go 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2. Days of the week in sequence, the days of the week are, so make sure for lesson 36, they are able to call the names of the days of the week, and then you want them to be able to realize which day comes before another day, which day comes after another day, which day comes in between 2 given days. So it'll be best to let them set up a sort of calendar to deal with at first in order to understand the days of the week, and that there are 7, dealing with the number 7 days in a week. Lesson 37, months of the year in sequence. So again, let them call the names of the month and let them say them, spell them out, know what they are, recognize them, know which one comes first, which one come last, which one will come after, which one will come before, which one will come in between. So let them have a calendar and use it to give you information at first. And then they should be able to arrange the months of the year in order, like they would be able to do the days of the week. 38, you're actually dealing with the calendar. A calendar is a system of determining the beginning, length, and divisions of a year. And for arranging the year into days, weeks, and months, they don't need to know that. Word problem, find September 1st on the calendar. Which day was September 1st? Okay, and again, practice with ordinals. Students will read a calendar for the month, year, and date. Give the date for the first Sunday in the month of May. So there's several things you can do once you present them with a calendar and question them on it. So if they have March, how many days are in the month of March that they're given there, and then on which day does the month begin, on which day does the month end. Okay, the 12th of March is what day? Okay, and then let them give the date for you, the first Friday in March. Give the date for the first Friday in March. So questions like that could go along with the calendar to help them to use it. Lesson 39, fact families again. Now you can deal, at the beginning they dealt with the 2 addition facts. So here you can deal with this, again you're dealing with the addition facts and showing them that they're commutative. Why? Because when they get to subtraction, it's not. So you want to make sure they understand that at first. Okay, and lesson 40, fact families. Now you'll be giving them the subtraction facts. I didn't want you to mix them up because it gets confusing. You don't want a child to tell you 3 take away 4 is 1 or 1 take away 4 is 3, because it's not commutative. Commutative means that you can't switch the numbers around and get the same result. So make sure you do them separate, and the subtraction facts, now they can put them on for the fact family, and then later on they can combine the four facts together for the fact family. Lesson 41, equivalent relationships between hours, days, months, and years. How many hours in a day? So let them work in cooperative groups with calendars to find answers to these at first. Find a number of hours between 2 times. Find a number of days between 2 dates. And the facts they need to know: 24 hours is 1 day, 7 days is 1 week. So let them work with those facts in order to solve given problems. Let them create their own problems. 42 is still on the calendar. Use a calendar to find and name the month for your birthday. What is the name of that month? That's the problem they're dealing with. And then you want them to make association between months, days, and weeks on a calendar. Christmas Day, December 25th. Independence Day, July 10th. Opening of school in September. Valentine's Day, February 14th. So those special dates, make sure they know them, especially their birth month, and they can circle it on a calendar for their birth month, and they're able to find the rest of those dates that we mentioned. Lesson 43 on fact families now. And now you can let them present you with the 4 facts. Give them the triangle, let them put the 3 numbers for the vertices, and then let them put the 4 facts on the inside of the triangle. Okay, so now they should know the addition ones, and the addition ones are commutative, and then they'd be able to give you the subtraction one, which is not ones which are not commutative. 9 take away 4 is 5, 9 take away 5 is 4. Okay, good. And 44, fact families again. So let them have more practice in giving you the 4 facts for each fact family. And you can also leave out a fact, leave out a number, and ask them, can these numbers make up a fact family, or put in the missing numbers that would make this a fact family, and let them be able to do exercises like that. And they should be able to do that by now in dealing with fact families. Lesson 45, equivalent relationships between hours, days, months, and years. How many days in a leap year? And they should know that since they're working cooperative group using calendars, find a number of days between 2 dates, find a number of months between 2 dates. 24 hours, 1 day, 7 days, 1 week, 12 months, 1 year, 365 days, 1 year, 366 days, 1 leap year. So that's your answer, guys. There are 366 days in a leap year. So make sure students they don't need to know the fact 365 and a quarter days, just 365 is fine. Thank you, parents and teachers, for watching. I hope this will be helpful for you during this first term for the 2000-2001 school year.